Every time you fill your tank in India today, there is something invisible is happening. The one fifth of what going into your engine is not petrol, it's alcohol. Yes, you had it right, it's alcohol. The government calls it clean energy. The owners of older cars and bikes call it a nightmare. Between the middle of the story, one of the family is getting richer and richer and richer very very fast. So what actually is happening? This is the story of E20. This is what you should know. What actually is E20? How it is made? And what actually happening in Indian automobile market right now and Indian petroleum market right now. So let's know about what actually is E20. When you are filling your vehicle with the petrol, there is only 80% of it is petrol. So another 20% is called ethanol. So basically what is ethanol? So ethanol is a kind of alcohol which is blended into petrol which you buy in the petrol bunk. But what happened actually? This is not a sudden idea. The Indian ethanol blending is actually started back in 2003, and where the government is started to blend 5 to 10% of ethanol in the petrol which is available. But somewhere around 2021, government has took a decision to massively accelerate the blending of ethanol in petrol. But originally it is aimed for 2030. But instead India hit the 20% of target by 2025. This fast. But what actually happened and why Indian government is pushing the E20 petrol this fast? So let me explain. The reason number one, money. India actually imports 85 to 90% of its petrol in the foreign exchange, and by blending 20% of ethanol in every liter of petrol, the petroleum minister claims that over a 1.4 lakh crore of rupees is already saved by blending ethanol in petrol. Reason number two, farmers. So the ethanol is actually made from crops like sugarcane, maize, corn and rice. So the Indian government claims that over the 1.2 lakh crore rupees is generated in this ethanol supply chain. Reason number 3, emissions. Ethanol burns cleaner than the pure petrol. Government says that over a 700 tons of CO2 is already reduced by using this ethanol in the petrol. So let's understand what actually E20 do to your vehicle. This is the part where most of the car owners care about. Does E20 damage your vehicle? The honest answer is that exactly depends on what you drive. The Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers stated that the cars and bikes which are manufactured before April 2023 are not compatible of using E20 fuel. That's mean a millions of cars and bikes on the road today are just made to use E5 and E10. They are not compatible of E20. So what actually goes wrong in that vehicles? So ethanol is a hygrophobic in nature, so it absorbs the moisture from the air. So over a period of time, moisture which is absorbed from the air might corrode your fuel injectors and damage your internal parts of the engine, fuel pumps, rubber hoses and gaskets. Some of the owners also reported hard cold starts and drop in the mileage too. So why mileage drop? Ethanol simply consists of 30% of lesser power than normal pure petrol. So this leads to the mileage drop. Government of India, the petroleum minister already has stated that there will be 6 to 10% of drop in mileage for older cars and 3 to 4% for the newer cars. This caused the real backlash. See, one of the local bodies conducted a survey on rolling out of E20 fuel. But in that survey, 66% of the people are not happy with rolling out of E20 petrol, and 44% of the people opted for lower ethanol blends for their older vehicles. This is escalated further. One of the Indian topmost insurer, ICICI, directly stated that the cars which are damaged by using wrong fuel, using E20, they are not responsible of insurance claims. So this is the biggest statement by the insurance companies. In response to the backlash, Mr. Nitin Gadkari has challenged the critics to prove that E20 is not compatible of using in the older vehicles, and he also called it's a petrol lobby. So one of the journalists called Ganesh has interviewed Mr. Nitin Gadkari few years back. So this is what he told about the E20 fear.
Sir, ethanol blending. You are extremely bullish on ethanol blending. In fact, I just read that आपने E10 target को deadline से पहले complete कर दिया है, and now we are looking at E20. So if you look at the petrol consumption of India, considering the amount of ethanol we would require, the estimate comes to about 10.16 billion liters. And ethanol production happens from corn, wheat, rice, and sugarcane. And out of these 4 crops, 3 crops are water guzzling crops. So अभी बैंगलोर में वाटर क्राइसिस चल रहा है. बीएमसी ने बस एक नोटिफिकेशन दिया, दे गोइंग टू कट द वाटर सप्लाई
ये
बाय
जो
5%.
आर्गुमेंट करने वाले लोग हैं ना,
हाँ.
ये सबसे देश में एंटी नेशनल है.
So if you're watching this with your way owning your own vehicle, so please keep in mind. So all service your car or bike on a regular base of interval, and please change your engine oil for every 10,000 kilometers. So if any weird things happens, please go get it checked with your service manager. So if your car or bike makes any weird sounds or choking or something like that, so please visit the showroom or service center. And here is the final chapter, the Gadkari's family's connection to the ethanol E20. So here is the family. So Nitin Gadkari has two sons. One is Sarang Gadkari and Nikhil Gadkari. So these both are the owners of different industries which produce it. So Mr. Nikhil Gadkari is the managing director of CR. So Mr. Sarang Gadkari is the managing director of Manas Agro Industries. So these both industries produce ethanol. Is Nitin Gadkari helping his sons to build their empire by forcing every Indian to use E20? Let me know in the comments. So I think many of you got bored. Actually, this is my second longest video. Please watch it, and if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you love it, please share with your friends and family so that they can also understand what actually is going on.